everyone, I hope you're okay. Right, today we are going to be doing a forest school activity. Now, with everything that's going on, we can't see all the people that we'd like to see, our friends and our family, but it's really important that we get outside to get some fresh air because it makes our bodies feel better and it makes our heads feel better. So, the activity we're going to do for our forest school, we're going to make a bird feeder. Now, there is a charity called the RSPB, which stands for the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. And this charity helps to look after the birds in our area and all over the country, and they like to know what birds we see in our environment, in our garden or at our local parks. So, some people have lots and lots of birds in their garden. My mum and dad have loads of birds, lots of different types of birds. We've got cats, so unfortunately we don't get to see too many birds. The main bird that we see is this type of bird, and this is a pigeon. Now, these pigeons are quite big birds, and I'm going to use some books to show you pictures of these birds as well. Now, these books are my husband's, and these aren't story books. These are non-fiction books, which means they tell us information. So this is a picture of a pigeon that you might see in your garden. They're quite common. You might see them in your garden, at the park, if you go shopping. They tend to be everywhere. Okay, now we have two pigeons that come to our garden. Those are the main birds that we see in our garden. We have two big pigeons that come and sit on our bird feeder, and they're a little bit too big for our cats to catch. And this page, this side, tells me lots and lots of information about the pigeons. It tells me that their eggs are white in colour, and they lay their eggs between April and August, and that they build their nest of sticks and twigs, and they will eat anything green as well as nuts, berries and some insects. So that's a really common bird that we might see, and here is the pigeon. Okay, another bird that you might see is this bird. Now, his colour might give you a clue as to what his name is. Could you guess what this bird is called? This is a blackbird. You might see blackbirds in your garden. We occasionally have a blackbird. Now, I've got another non-fiction book, another information book here. And here's the blackbird. And this is the man blackbird, the male blackbird. The female blackbird, the lady blackbird, she looks a little bit different. She isn't black like the male blackbird. The female blackbird is, that's right, she's brown. There she is, you can see her, she's a lighter colour. And here is a picture of a blackbird's egg. And here is their nest. So you might see a blackbird in your garden. I think this blackbird might show us the sound he makes. Can you hear? That's the sound you might hear a blackbird making. That's their call when they're talking to each other. They make these calls. Right, so we've talked about the pigeon. We've talked about the blackbird. Let me find another one that you might see in your garden. Let's have a look at this one. He's got blue on the back of his head. He's got orange round his face, and his beak is a grey colour, and so are his wings. Now let me find him in my book. This is a blue tit. Can you say that for me? A blue tit. Let me find. I put lots of little sticky notes in so I could find the information out for you. And here is a picture of a blue tit. Now, blue tits are only small, and the way we can recognise them is they have got a blue head. They've got a blue bit right on the top of their head. And if you look, here is a picture of its egg, And the blue tit's eggs are quite small because it's only a small bird. You have a listen to this one. Oh, he makes a longer call, doesn't he? Let's listen again. Wow. So you might see a blue tit in your garden. The next bird I'm going to show you is my favourite. Oh, this is a bird who's got a red breast, a red chest. Does anybody know what this one's called? We sometimes associate him with Christmas because we see lots of them on Christmas cards. This is a robin. Can you say that? Robin. And we have a robin who comes and sits on the top of a very tall tree in our garden, and he sings away. He really sings. Let's hear his call. It's quite beautiful. If you can ever listen to a robin sing, it is lovely. So let me find my information and show you the robin in my information book. Here he is. Can you see? And in the picture, he's got a red breast, a red chest, just like our toy robin. And this information tells me that he lays his eggs from February to July, and he makes his nest of grass and wool and hair and rootlets and anything else he can find, really, anything fibrous. So those are the 4 birds that you might see in your garden. You might see lots of other ones. The other one that is a very common bird is this bird, this black and white bird. Now, at school, when we're in nursery and we look out onto the playing fields, we see these birds. We see lots and lots of these birds. And these birds are called magpies. And sometimes we can see up to 10 magpies on the field. So that's another very common bird that you might see if you go to the park or you go shopping. Now there's one other bird I want to talk to you about. And we don't see these birds very often at all. But you might hear them. Sarah told me yesterday that when it's night time by her house, she can hear these birds, and so can I. What bird is this one? We had a story about it last half term. That's right, it's an owl. Let's have a listen to the owl. So when you're lying in bed, if you hear that noise, that means there's an owl somewhere close to your house. Somewhere in your local environment, there is an owl living. Okay. Now, the big bird watch that the RSPB do is not this weekend, it's next weekend. So we thought it might be nice if we took part in that, but to encourage birds to come either to your garden or close to your balcony, we thought we would make a bird feeder. So I'm going to move the birds out of the way. And I'm going to get my bowl of Cheerios, that's right. And what shape are our Cheerios? It's our shape of the week. They've got one continuous curved side, no straight sides, no corners. Can you remember the name? It's a circle, well done. And we've got the outer circle, and then we've got a hole in the middle that's also a circle shape. Now we're going to use these because birds like to eat these. It's up to you and what you have at home, but we're going to thread it onto something. So I've got a piece of wool that I could use. I've got a straw, or I've got a pipe cleaner. Now I'm going to choose to use the pipe cleaner. So if you decide to use wool, the best thing to do would be holding your Cheerio very carefully, and your pincy fingers poke it through, pull it through, and then ask the adult who is with you to tie a knot around that first Cheerio so that when you thread the other ones on, they aren't going to fall off. Okay. If you're using a straw, they're a bit tricky to push on, but they shouldn't fall off, so you don't need to do a knot at the top or the bottom. With my pipe cleaner, I'm just going to bend it up. I'm going to bend it up so that the pipe cleaners won't fall off the bottom, the Cheerios won't fall off the bottom, okay? So then we can just thread them on. Make sure that you push them all the way down, because then we can get lots and lots of Cheerios on for the birds to eat. So let's count how many we've got. We've got 1, 2. So let's add a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count with me. 5. What comes next? 6. Oops. 7. Let's see if we can get up to 10. 8. 9. And 10. Well done. So I've got 10 on there, but I've still got lots and lots of space. So I should fill that right to the top, or to about here, and then I should go out into my garden and I shall hook it onto, I shall connect it onto a branch in my garden so that the birds can come and eat it. And hopefully next weekend, when we stop for 1 hour to watch the birds, we will see some birds eating from our bird feeder. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.